Happy spring. So here we are, we're in the last season of this series. And I just want to share a couple of things, updates, I guess. I did do a follow-up video in the winter, that was still in the winter. And for lots of different reasons, life, I couldn't get it out. It was part technical, it was part me, it was part life. And so just putting that out there for a couple of reasons. One, just to acknowledge that I did name some things that I'm going to review quickly here, but I really want to focus on spring for this video. Um, I also want to share it because how many times do we intend to do something and it's like not happening. It's not coming out. It's not there. And what do we do with that? Right? I can't say I didn't get on myself a little bit to like beat myself up or be frustrated or whatever. That did happen. Of course it did, because I wanted to. I had it. I was trying to do it. I was trying to make it work, and it was not moving. And so I had to stop, and I had to stop that thought process, and I had to stop what I was trying to do because it just wasn't happening. And I had to really be honest with myself about the fact that something about this, I don't know why, but something about this is not supposed to happen this way. And so I had to let it go. And I also had to let go of what that meant for me, right? That I put this expectation on myself, or I put this value. I had to accept the fact that it's okay. It's okay to not get all the things done. So um, I hope that's helpful to hear that piece, because I think I know from, myself and all the people I talk to all day long, that happens all the time, right? We think we're supposed to do something. We're intending to do something, we want to do something, all the different reasons, or we think that there's this obligation to do something and it's just not happening. We have to just trust that there's a reason for that. I don't know what it is. We usually don't in the moment. A lot of times we figure it out later, it comes clear later, but just, value the fact that we can't do all the things all the time. We just can't. It's not realistic. So in that video, what I was really just speaking to was what I was seeing over the course of the winter and what I saw happening. So I'll share a little bit here. Um, I saw a lot of old wounds, childhood stuff, really, really early life stuff. Family stuff, things with parents, parent-child relationship stuff really coming to the surface for a lot of people. Too many to be a coincidence. There was a pattern that I saw, that a lot of that stuff was coming up, and it was getting triggered in lots of different ways for people. Either it was an interaction, an altercation, or it was just kind of surfacing in some other way. But it was giving us an opportunity to work through it, to deal with it. And so I had the blessing and the benefit to help some people with that, and help themselves work through it. Also experienced some of that myself. So, nobody was alone in that experience. And so I had to work through some of my own stuff around that. And really grateful now. Was not fun and pleasant and pretty during. But I can definitely find some gratitude now. So I hope if that happened for you, you can too. And the word that really kept coming to me over that course of the winter moving into this spring season was transformation. All of that, I think, was giving us the material we needed to unload what is no longer serving us, to clear out, to purge what just doesn't belong there anymore, or never belonged to us in the first place in most cases. Because if it's childhood stuff, it was somebody else's stuff that got, rolled to us, and we picked it up and we've been carrying it around ever since. So this transformation really needed that clean out and needed that space to start to take form. And I have to say, I mean, it really came to fruition in a way that I didn't even know what was going to happen, of course, and didn't expect. But as some of you know, a lot of my stuff has changed. My website changed and my contact info. And there was this big transformation that was crystal clear that needed to happen. And so I had to move through all of that. And, you got to do all the steps. Once it presents itself to you, then you get your work to do. And you move through it however you can, as best you can. It was overwhelming at times. It was fun and exciting a lot of the time. It was a lot of work and tiring some of the time. Um, but here we are. Now we're in spring, and now we get to really sit in this transformation. We get to mold it. We get to make it what we want it to be, right? It doesn't mean you just get handed a script and then that's your new script. You're a part of this. You get to design. You're a creator. You get to make it whatever you want it to be. So think about that, right? You get handed the bud of a flower that's about to bloom. You get to design the petals, you get to design the colors, you get to plant it wherever you want. Like, think about all the different aspects of you. There are a lot of them. And so, what do you want all the things to look like? Your relationships, your job or career, your home. It could be as simple as redecorating in your house and freshening things up or cleaning out old closets. It could be you need a change, a bigger change. Whatever that is for you, make it about you and who you really are, your most authentic self. Transforming, having this cleared out space means you're able to be transforming into the most perfect version of you today. And that's going to change over time. We don't have to get too rigid about it. We don't have to get too stuck in it. It will evolve, but make it what you want it to be right now. You've learned so much. Take that wisdom, right? Don't take all the baggage, but take the knowledge and the learning, which is wisdom, right, from that experience, and make it into what you want. Create the thing that is most important to you. Maybe it feels risky and scary still. Usually that's what's prevented us from doing it up till this point, but maybe there's enough space and enough of a tipping point to do it anyway. Nothing's going to be done without some amount probably of fear. Like, let's be realistic. We're probably still going to be nervous or scared or even fearful. It's that we do it anyway, and that we have enough of us on board with that and enough knowing that this is the right thing, even if it's scary. And we're going to show ourselves that we're okay and that we can do it, and we're capable, or nothing bad's going to happen, or whatever it is. Or even if it does, we can handle it. We're equipped to handle it. So we've built ourselves up. We've cleared space, and we're ready to take the leap and really become more of ourselves. Do that at whatever pace feels right to you. It doesn't have to be, a speed train. It can be if you want it to be. That's the things that we have control over, is how fast do we want to move through this. And if that doesn't feel right, you scale it back and you do one piece at a time. We don't need to overwhelm ourselves. We don't need to do a big overhaul. That usually results in crash and burn anyway, right? So slow and steady, just like spring, right? Things, I'm out in my yard, I'm doing yard work, and little green sprouts are starting to come up, and there's some color splashes here and there with flowers and all the early bloomers, but the whole thing hasn't opened up at once, right? Take a cue from nature and how that works, right? Little bits at a time, right? Keep it going, keep the forward momentum moving, but you don't have to do the whole thing at once. So add a little bit here and a little bit there. Make sure you're resting in between, right? It doesn't all happen overnight, even though sometimes it feels like it. Like, I go to bed and I come up and something new is there. But think about what's been happening under the ground that whole time. It didn't just go from nothing to, a blooming plant or a flower. It was transforming itself. It was unloading all the stuff that it doesn't need anymore and shedding whatever doesn't belong, so that it could force itself to burst through the surface of the ground to become, fully what it's meant and intended to be for the season. So think about how nature operates and mimic that with yourself. We're not supposed to be doing it in one fell swoop. We have these 4 seasons for a reason, because there's a process to it. There's an ebb and a flow, and we're trying to do all the things all the time, and it's too much, and that's when we crash and burn. We're supposed to be slow and steady and moving with the natural flow of things, right? There's a natural up and down. You do some work, you rest. You do some things, you rest. You have to have that balance to it. And so we can really start to practice that and embrace it in this spring season. This feels like a really big year. Um, really big shifts seem to be happening in all different aspects. So use this as your personal reminder that that means you too. You're a part of this. We're all a part of it together. And so you can do things maybe you've always thought about doing or have been building up under the surface. And I'm saying 2025 and this season, now is the time. Spring and then moving into summer where then we can really swim in the new stuff. That's when we get to enjoy all the work we've done. So spring, if you think about nature again, spring is work, right? It's getting everything ready to burst and to come out of the ground and to do what it's doing and create the leaves on the trees and think about all of the hard work that's happening behind the scenes. And then in summer, we look around and everything's green and colorful again, right? At least in New England, that's, our experience. And it's kind of nice to have that seasonal change to really understand this process of growth and learning and expansion. So, thinking ahead to summer, which is not that far away, when you can really just enjoy all of the hard work that you did for the last year, really. I'd love to hear thoughts. I'd love to hear feedback, how everybody is doing with all of this, something different, what we can offer maybe in the next few months in terms of support or guidance. There'll be some workshops available. There's a retreat coming up in a couple weeks in Cape Cod. You have until the end of this week to register. So I hope that you do something like that for yourself. Find something that's going to help you. You don't need to do this alone. So support yourself, read books, listen to things, watch videos, go on retreats, go to workshops and classes, talk to other people that are doing the same kinds of things. Find your way of supporting this process. Nobody has to do it by themselves. We have a whole ecosystem out in nature that supports one another. So again, let's mimic that. Let's do that together. And whatever I can be helpful with, I'm here and I would love to be. So happy spring, and I hope everyone has a great day.